Hey cool people, today we're going to find the fastest way to level up Sora, his forms, and his summons in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. I'm Nick, I'm a he, him, and I'm exhausted. Being held together by caffeine and duct tape, and let me tell you, caffeine is just making me tired faster. So strike the like button. Let's begin. Now, like in the previous level guides, I'm going to take strategies I found online, compare and contrast them to see which is the speediest strategy. No hate to the creators listed, without them this video wouldn't exist. In that vein, all their guides will be linked in the description, so when we're done, make like tattoo and show them love. This guide doesn't have any low or mid-level grinds, clearing rooms as I went was enough even on critical mode, but 3 things real fast worth noting. Experience boost ability doubles our EXP gain, as long as we're below 50% health, and the Gullwing Keyblade has experience boost as well, and I know it says at a critical moment, but like rugs on the ground, it lies. Critical moment doesn't mean blinking 25% health, it means half health. It's just ass wording. Secondly, the enemies we should fight are nobodies, because they only drop MP orbs and give us the most EXP per defeat. Last, Dingle and Gingle, Dondle and Gongle, Dockers and Clockers have to have all their attacks and healing abilities turned off, so they need to be customized to Sora attack, because if they defeat an enemy or heal us above 50% health, we won't get the double EXP bonuses. So here's the 4 strategies I found. Mansion Loop by Lady Hikari, Altar of Naught to Naught Skyway by Glitchy, Naught Skyway plus Final Form by Limit Form 72, and a Mysterious Tower Climb from a video I couldn't find. As for my data, I was level 51 for all strategies, and my timer would start when entering the first combat room, and it would end at the same spot. Starting with the Mansion Loop. Land in the computer room of Twilight Town, now we'll go out to the library, get bonked down to half health, and then return to the computer room. If you're not sure if you're at half health, pause and look at the numbers towards the bottom of the screen. Half is a half, right? Good. Okay. Now run through the rooms, basement hall, basement corridor, back through basement hall and the computer room, then the library, top half of the foyer, then go to the white room to reset the library for later, go through the foyer's west stairway, then into the dining room, then go back through the lower half of the foyer, and back through the library to the computer room.
Find the computer room!
Now, we repeat while spamming Thundaga the entire time. The first issue here is, at level 51, Thundaga does not one-shot enemies, so I relied on Magnega with Explosion and Referee. We'll receive 69,273 EXP in 3 minutes, which is about 385 EXP per second. Altar of Naught to Naught Skyway, worth noting, this strategy was also recommended by Key of Time 15 and gamersjoint, though their versions may differ from Glitchy's. So what we do is, use the first wave of Heartless in Ruin and Creation's Passage to get knocked down to 50% health, then fight from the second platform all the way down to Naught's Approach, only defeating the first sorcerer in this room. Then move on to Proof of Existence, go to the Hall of Empty Melodies, defeat the 6 enemies, then defeat the enemies in Naught's Skyway, but after beating the swarm of creepers, head back up, once back in Naught's Approach, defeat all enemies this time, and return to the top of Ruin and Creation's Passage, defeating every nobody along the way. This route gives us about 164,700 EXP for the whole thing, and for the sake of consistency with the Mansion Loop, I started the timer already below 50% HP. It took me 7 minutes, 27 seconds, and equates to 368 EXP per second. A little slower than the Mansion Loop, and on top of that, when we're in our 50s and we can't one-shot anything, this strategy is actually pretty dangerous, so I don't really recommend it at this low of a level. Naught Skyway plus Final Form. Obviously, this one is only doable once we have maxed out Final Form, but we'll cover that later in the video. For now, from Twilight's View, with Gullwing and Bond of Flame equipped, fire Raga the shortcut menu, we'll enter the Hall of Empty Melodies, turn into Final Form, and get hit down to 50% HP, which for me was 2 sniper bullets. 360 no scope! Enter and clear out Naught Skyway, and then return to the save point when our drive gauge is low. I usually made it up to the final 3 Berserkers, then headed back. I got 45,900 EXP in 1 minute 44 seconds, the timer starting from when I entered Naught Skyway and ended when I re-entered it. Now, this strat is weird because we definitely have to leave this world and return and get damaged again for a consistent timer, unlike the other aforementioned strategies. However, even with that, this strategy comes out to 411 EXP per second. Wowza, it's faster than the other 2 by a lot. But we're not done yet. Also, Wowza implies the existence of Wowga and Wowra. Something to think about. Mysterious Tower Climb. Now, Limit Form 72 mentions doing it in Final Form, but we don't really need to, and you'll see why in a minute. In this strategy, we go from the tower entryway to the top, then come back down to complete a full loop. We will also enter the wardrobe room. We will also enter the wardrobe room at the top and exit the tower to the grass area at the bottom to help the moon and star rooms respawn. The XP we get from this is approximately 78,948 per loop, but changes slightly when the berserkers at the top don't respawn, same with Dusts and Samurai at the bottom. One loop took me 2 minutes 17 seconds, starting the timer when entering the blue set of wayward stairs, already at 50% health. Somebody call the Ice Age squirrel because this one is nuts. It equates out to 576 EXP per second, by far the fastest. Plus, what I really like about this run is it's not at all dangerous. Magnega then Explosion decimates most enemies, Referendum insta-kills Dragoons, and Refried Beans followed by Thundaga wallops Berserkers, even at level 51. Now, as I mentioned, Final Form. I think in this case it'd be more of a hindrance because it just adds an unnecessary time limit, and since we can already two-shot these enemies, why would we bother? But, you know, maybe it's faster. I don't know, I'm not finding out. If it was the point of this video, I would, but wait. Now to compare and contrast, at level 51 on critical mode, Mansion Loop is 385 EXP per second, or EPS. Ruin to Skyway Loop is 368 EPS. Skyway plus Final Form is 411 EPS, and Mysterious Tower Climb is 576 EPS. So, just off beating Skyscraper Xemnas, I recommend ascending and descending Mysterious Tower. Conversely, at a higher level, let's say 80, the numbers change a bit. Dropping from 3 minutes to 2 minutes 15 seconds, the Mansion Loop becomes 513 EPS, even though we can't one-hit with Thundaga still unless you have Thunder Boost. Ruin to Skyway Loop drops from 7.5 minutes to 4 minutes 55 seconds, which means it's now 558 EPS, overtaking the Mansion Loop. For Skyway plus Final Form, I was now able to beat the full room before having to return to the save point, so that puts our new EXP number at 51,300 EXP, completed in 1 minute 30 seconds, which becomes 570 EPS. But, and this is the kicker, Mysterious Tower Loop now takes 2 minutes and 3 seconds, which becomes 641 EPS, so it's still the best. And just for fun, because the internet has said to try it since 2004, I tested the bees on top of Pride Rock. For both level 51 and level 80, and you'll never believe WASP happened. Here's the sting. It came out to an average of 163 EPS. So yeah, a terrible Stratabee. Hive seen better. Honeybee. 3 quick things to note before we begin. Again, if you're gonna level up forms during the story, here's some info about anti-form from the KH Wiki, and if you're not, just don't turn into any form while in combat. Second, any party member not used in a form needs to be set up the same as during the level grind. And third, fun exploit, check this out, while in any form, if we leave the world while in it, or return to a room where the party isn't in our party, it will reset our drive gauge to max. Call me a white boy from Wisconsin because I fucking love this cheese. Valor form. This form gets 1 XP with every hit we do. If you decide you want to grind in early levels, Sora Alam 1 suggests fighting the Heartless in the Village Cave, in Land of Dragons. So with my Sora at level 14 and his Valor form at level 2, with 85 hits until level 3, I did a quick test in Village Cave, and it took me 4 minutes and 5 seconds to reach level 3. The only thing was, I felt like we could have potentially been doing more by going into the room on the right and fighting there, so potentially doing that could be potentially faster than potentially the time I got. Now potentially, no. Usually, I like to grind in front of the lock in Olympus Coliseum, just after getting the Olympus Stone, but before rescuing Meg. It has the party not in our party exploit. With the same setup as Village Cave at the same Sora level, it took me 3 minutes 46 seconds to reach level 3. So the lock grind is slightly faster, but alternatively we can get to level 3 the fun way by just using Valor form against bosses instead of an intentional grind. Now, I don't think it's worth leveling from level 3 until we unlock Final Form. However, Contrarians, I see you. When we get Limit Form, we can reach level 5, gaining us High Jump level 2. And the consensus on this is to do repeated air hits, but not air finishers, against Mushroom 5 in the Treasure Room of Agrabah, which I'll explain later. So the strategies for endgame form leveling are hitting mushroom number 5, big surprise, and gamersjoint suggests clearing the burrow in Hollow Bastion or fighting creepers in Not Skyway. So I tested these 3 strategies. With 669 hits left to reach level 7, my Sora at level 44 and Donald strangled to death, I started with the burrow strategy. I had Oathkeeper and Divine Rose equipped because having less hits actually made it easier to survive, and it took about 10 minutes 40 seconds to reach level 7. For Not Skyway Creeper strategy, I would return to Twilight's View save point at half of gauge bar 1, and it took 6 minutes and 54 seconds. As for Mushroom 5, I can confirm air hits without finishers is the fastest. Enjoy this info dump. We'll press square to begin our attack, then press X 3 times, stopping and landing just before the finisher. My setup was Oathkeeper and Starseeker, and this took 4 minutes 17 seconds, the fastest by far. Surprising no one, Mushroom 5 has... I had to put it somewhere in the video. But if you don't have Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, go to Not Skyway instead. Wisdom Form, the Glock of Forms, levels up with every Heartless we beat. Relaxed Batter suggests fighting Hook Bats in the West Hall of Beast Castle from levels 1 to 3, then using Mickey's House from levels 3 to 5, whereas Sora Alam 1 suggests fighting an Agrabah for level 1 to 3, then Mickey's House for 3 to 7. A personal favorite of mine is from 3 to 7, but we can only do this before Riku joins the party. So for the test, my Sora was at level 20 with 24 EXP until level 3. For Mickey's House strategy, we're going to use Reflect basically the whole time. From levels 2 to 3, it took me 1 minute 13 seconds. Agrabah from level 2 to 3 will skateboard up to the nearby higher portion, then Reflect and Blizzard the tiny Fire Heartless, and it took me 1 minute 52 seconds. And the Hook Bat strategy from level 2 to 3 will walk in and thunder the 3 waves of Hook Bats, and it took 28 seconds? Holy sh**. So this is going to be my preferred method, and we can use it up until we beat the 1000 Heartless battle, which means we can get it up to level 6 with this strategy. Now at level 40, with 157 EXP to get from level 6 to 7, I retested Mickey's House. It took 5 minutes 51 seconds. Note that the enemies did change from hammers and shadows to soldiers and shadows, which are definitely easier and faster to deal with. I tested the shadows in Fragments Crossing. It took 6 minutes 18 seconds, and I also decided to add Agrabah back in, again, because it still has the little dudes and it wasn't fucking worth it. 10 minutes 56 seconds. Ridiculous. So to that end, I'm shocking the shit out of the Hook Bats until level 6, then blowing my magical load all over Mickey's House until level 7. That didn't come out right. Limit Form. For Final Mix only, this form levels up every time we use a finish command during a limit attack. Now, we're going to make this extremely simple. I like using Limit Form on the 1000 Heartless to get to level 5 or 6. I'm nothing if not a slave to convenience, fuck you capitalism. Then, we'll use Mushroom level 5 to get up to level 7. And the latter is the consensus, but my question is doing it during the 1000 Heartless challenge worth it? I tested from level 2 to 5 in both 1000 Heartless and Mushroom 5, both at Sora level 26, with Oathkeeper, and here's my data. The 1000 Heartless took 8 minutes 5 seconds with MP Rage, Damage Drive, and Vicinity Break, while Mushroom 5 took 7 minutes 50 seconds. So there you go, 15-second difference, and I'll keep my 1000 Heartless limit form grind, thank you very much. Master Form levels up as we collect Drive Orbs, the Ball Gobbler if you will. My method is called Beast Castle Form, I'll explain it below. Glitchy, Relax Batter, gamersjoint, and Sora Alam 1 suggest doing the Gambler reaction commands in Mysterious Tower if we have at least one Drive Converter ability. Note that we can get one from Sweet Memories Keyblade and the other comes from leveling up. Sora Alam 1 and Relax Batter also suggest blowing up objects and landed dragons, and the Relax Batter also suggests smacking orbs in Cavern of Remembrance. So we'll test all of those. At level 30, fresh after the 1000 Heartless challenge, well, for the sake of consistency, my tests are after beating Zaldin. We'll start with the Beast Castle farm. From the dungeon, we defeat the gargoyles in the Undercroft by spamming Reflect, and get as far as we can into the West Hall, and then return to the dungeon once at the 0 gauge bar, which took me 3 minutes and 54 seconds to go from level 1 to level 3. Full disclosure, this was ass to do at level 30. Absolute booty cheeks, a big round honk and clappers. But in a bad way. Land of Dragons farm, run to the ridge, blow up the objects, then to the village cave, blow up the objects, then defeat the Centaur Heartless, leave the world and repeat. Also, make sure Firaga is in the shortcut menu, and make sure everyone in the party has Jackpot on. Although, I only had one from Goofy at this point, and it took 2 minutes 54 seconds. Faster than the Beast Castle booty route at least. And the Cabin of Remembrance farm, with the Oathkeeper and Follow the Wind, preferably Wishing Lamp or Sweet Memories if you have them, will take off all the armor for Sora, and turn off once more Second Chance Defender and Damage Control abilities, land in the postern, enter the depths, go into the white door at the other end of the depths, and use Master Form and attack the 2 orbs floating by the gap. Then return to the depths and we'll get our shit absolutely rocked. Press continue and then return to the mine shaft to repeat. And from level 1 to 3, it took 2 minutes 7 seconds. Fastest so far, and we can even do it before the 1000 Heartless fight. As for levels 6 to 7, with a 619 EXP remaining, I came back to test them all again, with my Sora at level 44. At the Beast Castle farm, we'll go Dungeon to Undercroft, to the West Hall, be sure to break the statues, to the West Wing, enter Beast Room, leave the world, and return to the dungeon. Using Sweet Memories and Wishing Lamp, it took me 3 minutes and 1 second, which hey, wasn't absolute but this time. Gambler reaction commands, again level 44. For stop dice, press triangle when the second O comes up. For begin the game, press X at the top command after it loops 4 times. With Wishing Lamp and Sweet Memories again, from level 6 to 7, it took me 2 minutes and 11 seconds, with some mistakes, which is very quick. Note, turning into a card or dice isn't a big deal. You can either wait it out or exit and re-enter the room. And as a side note, I would only do this strategy if you're okay with practicing it and messing up. Land of Dragons Farm and Cabin of Remembrance Farm are the same as before, and they took 3 minutes 27 seconds and 4 minutes 9 seconds, respectively. So for early levels, we should use Cabin of Remembrance, but for mid to late levels, we should use the Gamblers if you're okay with some room for error. Now for our final form. This form is about beating nobodies. Oh, god damn. So there's 2 main methods. Behind door number 1, we have Fight the Creepers and not Skyway, as suggested by Sora Alam 1. And behind door number 2, there's Fight the Creepers and Ruining Creation's Passage, as suggested by gamersjoint. But what's this? Door number 3? Relaxed Batter suggests Fire Raga spam in the mansion basement till level 3, climb the mysterious tower until level 5, and then use not Skyway until level 7. So I'll time the levels up at 3, 5, and 7 for each strategy, and we'll see what's fastest. For the Creepers and not Skyway, level 3 took 1 minute 20 seconds, level 5 took 6 minutes 2 seconds, and level 7 took 12 minutes 1 second, for a total of 19 minutes 23 seconds. Pretty speedy. For the Creepers and Ruining Creation's Passage, level 3 took 2 minutes 10 seconds, level 5 took 6 minutes 30 seconds, and level 7 took 12 minutes 36 seconds, for a total of 21 minutes 16 seconds. Not what I would call quick. Lastly, the mansion basement to level 3, from the computer room to basement hall to basement corridor, leave the world repeat, took 1 minute 30 seconds. Mysterious tower to level 5, just start going up the tower and return when the gauge is low. This took 5 minutes 43 seconds. Then not Skyway to level 7, which as we know, takes about 12 minutes 1 second, totaling to 19 minutes and 4 seconds. And just for funsies, I wanted to see how long the tower would take in final form from level 5 to 7, and it took 11 minutes 48 seconds, just slightly faster than not Skyway.
Only slightly. Only slightly.
So, if we take not Skyway from 1 to 3, then new Mysterious Tower from 3 to 7, we can get it done in 18 minutes, 51 seconds, not including travel time. Now that just leaves summons get 1 EXP per time the summon gauge drops. For instance, 3 to 2 is an EXP, 2 to 1, 1 to 0, you get it. I use Chicken Little summons, and if you don't, you're wrong.
Don't use FPS mode. Stand near him. He'll whistle and he'll cast magnet, leaving enemies wide open to be can opened.
And we'll heal with every melee Sora does, which is pretty fucking sick. So I use Chicken Little during the story, and that means my summons are around level 5 by endgame, but there's still 3 levels left to go. Sora Alam 1 and Glitchy suggest Mushroom 5. Glitchy also suggests the tried and true method of standing around, while Quay suggests running through Hollow Bastion after the second visit. So let's compare and contrast. At level 44, at summon level 6, with 61 EXP to go, Mushroom 5 with Fire Raga attached, summon boost on, and Stitch will cast Fire Raga as the summon gauge shifts down, while Stitch replenishes our MP. Hope you like slurping noises. This took 1 minute 26 seconds to reach level 7, very fast. Standing around, no summon boost on with any summon. The timer started as soon as I select my summon. It took about 20 minutes, not at all fast. But and it isn't without merit. If you have something else you gotta do, homework or a work project, I don't know your life, this is a method you could use as long as you're periodically checking the summon gauge. And running through Hollow Bastion, summon boost on, we're going to start in the postern, enter the restoration site, summon Stitch and immediately use Ohana, then fight our way through the room, through the Bailey, and the Burrow. Then go to the marketplace, talk to Scrooge to do the skateboard minigame, exit immediately, then restart the strat in reverse. Now admittedly I did modify Quay's strategy a bit. Quay's route is marketplace to Burrow to Bailey to restoration site and back, but I added postern because it seemed convenient to leave the world and return when we go back. With the timer starting as soon as I entered restoration site, this took 7 minutes 50 seconds. As it stands, Mushroom 5 is the fastest for final mix, Hollow Bastion Loop is the fastest for not. There's probably other strategies, but these are what I found, and these are what I tested, so deal with it. If you want help getting puzzle pieces and chests in Kingdom Hearts 2, click this playlist here. Also, subscribe, and have a great day. Goodbye!